Welcome to this video everyone, where we will be exploring how to create some really cool looking navigation panels, just like the ones you can see here now. So let's get into the video. So before we actually go ahead and develop these navigation panels ourselves, let's see in action. So I'm going to zoom in for a moment. There we go. And this is for the retail analysis solution, by the way. So in the top right now I'm on the summary page, hence the reason summary is selected. If I hover over home, notice what happens. It goes into the on hover state. If I hover away from it, it goes to the default state. And we're going to be seeing how to use states in Power BI to achieve this same experience. So again, you can see on home, region, filter, help. In addition to that, we do have some other designs here as well that we could actually go ahead and build. So this is the one we just saw a moment ago. In addition to that, I've previously implemented the following one here, a bit more simple, but also we have a menu here that expands and collapses. The bottom one here, bit of a dark theme. Again, same thing if I select home or sales or units or VIP customers, or I can select the filter panel and that will expand. And then lastly, we have a similar style to the first, but this time the icons actually appear at the top. So think about maybe a mobile screen or a tablet screen, etc., or a standard one where it appears on the bottom. So with that said, let's go ahead and build one of these in Power BI Desktop. Here we are in Power BI Desktop. We just saw these four designs and we're going to start with this top one. How can we build it ourselves? I'm going to go to design one, and here you go. I have copied it here. But how do we actually go ahead and build this? Well, look, the first thing we need is the background, right? And that's just a shape. So you could go to shapes and select a rectangle or a rounded rectangle. But just to save time on formatting, I'm just going to copy and paste this from above, right? It's just a shape, a rounded rectangle, and just a different color. So with that said, how do we build our first button? So notice here, the default state, we have text, home, and a nice little icon below it. If I hover over it, we now see the on hover state, and this is the outcome. So let's go to insert once again. We are going to go to button and blank. It always adds it to the top left, which is fair. I'm going to drag this down here and place it somewhere there. Lovely. Okay, now that we have our first blank button, we want to format it. So on our lovely panels here, I'm going to expand on format. Let me zoom in a little bit more so it's super clear for everyone. We are going to go to button style. And look, the first thing we want to do is remove the border. Remove that ugly border. Let's get rid of it. Okay. Now I need some text in here. So I'm going to go to enable text and type in home. Now I'm going to change that to white. I'm also going to maybe reduce that down to 8, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now, with that said, you will notice above we have an icon below it, right? So we do need to add some padding to increase the home tab as well, or the text. So let me see if this is correct. In fact, I can just copy it from here. I had that at 45 previously, so let's do that together. 45, so there you go, right? With the padding is the space between the bottom edge and the text, right? So push it all the way up. And we're getting there, right? We're getting there. The other thing though, we need an icon. Before I actually show you the icons though, it's really important. I'm going to go to PowerPoint. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I love using PowerPoint. And what you're seeing here are all the different elements that I have created, saved as SVGs or PNGs, and I will be using these in the actual solution. So again, just to also show you, there are some white elements here. All I've done is I've created them, right click, save picture as, an SVG or PNG. And now that we have these stored in a folder somewhere, if we go back to our Power BI solution, here's where all the magic happens. Go to icons, custom, so we can bring a custom image. And whoops, okay, in here we're going to go to designs, not designs, design one. There we are. Icon, so design one, and I'm going to just make that large as well for us so we can have a better look. There we go. So when I create solutions like these, I have a very strong naming convention. It makes life easier. And if you're doing this for your organization or a client or customer, make sure to do the same. So home white, I'm going to select that. And hey, there you go. Look, it's already coming together. I also maybe want to make that a 20, I believe. I think it was 20 roughly. I want to center that as well. I do also want to center the text, right? Lovely. I also want to go back to custom, and I think maybe make that a 5, maybe a bit of 10. There you go. Look at that, right? Now, if I hover over the top one though, you'll notice on the on hover state, I have this green home button appearing as well. And if I selected it, it will remain there on that relevant page. So how do we do that? The magic of states, right? So if you go to button style here, we was working on the default state. If I now go to the on hover and I basically remove the home white SVG, and yes, I have used PNG here because the formatting was easier to work with. So now that I've added that in there, if I hover over, notice instantly nothing happens. The reason nothing happens is you must have action as on. Even if you haven't selected anything in here, just back, it needs to be on. And there you go. But as you can see, it's not giving the effect that we want. So we're going to select it. And we are going to go to image size. Let me make sure it's on hover. It is on hover. I'm going to make this maybe a 55. Perfect. Okay, so I've made that a 55. The other thing I'd like to do for the icon padding, maybe into a 50 here as well. Let me have a look. Nope. Let me increase the size here so I can see where it's gone. It's gone roughly there. I want to bring that back down to maybe 30. And you can see where we're going with this. 20. Okay, maybe I went too high initially. Okay. In fact, what I can do just to make it easier, because I have spent time on this, there you go. If I reduce that down, you can see already the effect we're going for. But I'm going to select this one. It's not cheating. I've already done it right. And I'm going to check what I've added here. So it was 30 and 51. Okay. So it was 30 and it was a 50. Okay. Call it that for now. Lovely. So now all I have to do is maybe push that down a little bit more there. There you are. So you're already starting to see it come together, right? So look at that. Now, if we just had this one here and the user hovered over, they would see this effect. How cool is that, right? And again, with a bit more formatting, you can build the entire thing out as well. If I go maybe to design 3 now, it's the following one. So here, the exact same thing, right? So we are going to just quickly replicate one of these ones as well. So it was always with a blank button. So if I go to insert, if I go to buttons, blank button, and this one's a bit simpler because we don't have that element that goes outside of the navigation panel, let's say, right? So there you go. As always, start by removing your border. Go to the default state first, I would suggest. Here we don't have any text, right? Different design. So I am going to leave text off. I am going to go to icon. I am going to go to custom. And then I'm going to go to design 3 and home white. And you can already start to see how it's going to come together. Okay, I'm going to center this. Lovely. Expand it a little bit. And now on hover, we're going to change that to home blue. And as always, you need to enable the action, and there you have it, right? So you can start to see how we can create these amazing creative looking navigation panels as well. And maybe the last one to show you is the follow one, because a lot of people have been asking questions on how we created this. Look, it's the exact same way we created design one, right? The only difference is rather than the icon or the element, the shape appear on the bottom, you just use the padding differently so it can appear on top of the text instead, right? So I'm not going to build this one out, but just to quickly show you. So if I go to the default state, we do have text, home. If I go to icon, I am using a simple SVG for the home icon. So if I remove that and go back in there and go to my design for home, there you go. Work with the padding and the icon size as well. And then again, on hover. When you go to the on hover, notice that I have a home circle. So this is another image I saved. Again, if I go to PowerPoint, here they are. I saved these images individually, these little circles, and that's what I'm using on the on hover state as well. But anyway, with that, hopefully you found this video very helpful. If you have any questions, do feel free to reach out.